for telling my man, who was the commentator, he kept stopping him like, yo, bro, talk like you normally talk to me.
Football coach, Coach Prime. Coach, how you feeling today?
No, straight up.
I always ask you how you feeling.
You was not talking like that just 2 minutes ago. Can you do the interview? Can you come in like you normally sound?
I just want to be clear and concise.
And professional?
Yes, sir.
So being you is not professional?
Well, I mean, I can't say, it was up, Cole. I can't do that.
I ain't asked you to do that. I just want
What's going on, family? Super excited to get you all some great information. We're going to be getting started in just a couple of minutes. Want to make sure everybody has plenty of time to hop on and access the link, guys. So we're going to get started in about 4 minutes. In about 4 minutes, we'll get started.
In the world of success, you have control of this. This belongs to you. This is yours. You're the captain, you're the master, you're the foreman, you're the general, you're the head. Don't give control of this to nobody. Get off of Instagram and Snap, and get off all these blogs, and get into something that can really, really move your life forward. Listen, getting successful, it's not a magic trick. You can decide to be rich. It's highly doable. But you first have to think it. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. I'm no better than none of y'all. If you want to be successful, you have to change this. This has to change.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded.
Listen to me. It's not what makes it hard is your lack of belief that it can happen for you. The fact of it is, though, it's very doable. See, but you got to change, though. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it. This decision is yours and yours.
All right, family, we're going to be getting started in about 2 minutes. Super excited to get you all some amazing information that has been able to touch me and touch hundreds of thousands of people. You know, we're going to be talking about how we're going to take full advantage of 2023 in a way that you never thought imaginable. All right, guys, we're going to be getting started in 2 minutes. Let's get it.
Yours alone. Let me tell you something. You get to decide if I'm going to be rich, poor, mediocre, plentiful, happy, sad. You have a decision to make. It's really not important what the majority of people that are blogging are saying. As a matter of fact, bloggers are not relevant people, they're not shakers and movers, and they're not decision makers, and they're not power brokers. So when you spend so much time in the blog world, the Instagram world, the chat world, all of this, you're wasting valuable time. If I was young and I had what you have And you're the brightest group of young people that have come along in a long time, man. Millennials are absolutely brilliant because you all have technology. I had no technology growing up, nothing. You couldn't download a book. You had to go to the library, go to the card catalog, pull it open, find the book, find the number, go get on the elevator, go to the row, find the number book, get the book, and hope somebody ain't told a page out that you want to read. That's what it used to be. When my mom and them finally got the money together to help us educate ourselves, they bought an encyclopedia set, Britannica, Funk and Wagner. And everything you wanted to know was in that encyclopedia. And that's all you could know. If you want to look up something about elephant, and they had 2 pages on elephants, that was what your knew about an elephant. Y'all got Google. You can Google anything. You all have stuff at your fingertips that can make you great. But if you could combine your technology with your parents and your grandparents' work ethic, your could be rich.
All right, guys. Drop some 2s in the chat if you can see and you can hear me clearly. Drop some 2s in the chat, guys. Want to make sure that we're good. And after you drop your 2, drop something that you're excited for in 2023. I'm excited for the growth, the development, the experiences, the people, the mentality. Shout out to T, fresh mentality. Shout out to her, guys. Growth for sure. Indeed. What else? Let me see a couple more. Let's see who's participating in the chat. I'm an interactive person, guys. I want to make sure that, those of us that are on this call are not here just to listen, guys, but we're here to apply some information that honestly is not readily available to just anybody. And I want you to at some point, hold on, let me read what RJ said. The manifestation of my dreams and God's provision, bro. You ain't have to go that deep. Hey, but look, I'm looking to do the same thing, man. The manifestation of my dreams. Drop a 2 in the chat if you can. If you had the ability to manifest your dreams in 2023, that you would do it. If you had the ability, you had the right information, the right people, the right knowledge, right? Drop a 2 if you have dreams that you would manifest if you had the ability to do so. I see them coming through. I see the 2s coming through. Let me drop my 2s because RJ said something there, man, and I like to do the exact same thing, guys. So, I want you to thank, the person that got on this call before I get into any information, because I need you to realize that what we're going to discuss today is not readily available to just anybody. And you have access to it tonight because a loved one, somebody in your close circle, or somebody very near and dear to you, saw that you're not the average person. They look at you with an elevated mindset. You're goal-oriented. You're very ambitious. You're probably somebody that they look up to. And they know for a fact somebody of your caliber can and will benefit, from what it is that we're going to be discussing briefly on this webinar. So I want to welcome you all. My name is Mark Sanders. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Born and raised. Y'all see the arch in the background. Definitely repping the Lou. 30 years old. Been involved in this opportunity for about 2.5 years. And when I tell you that it's been, a beautiful journey, the experiences that I've gone through, the people that I've met, the mindset elevation and the growth that I've experienced as a person, as a man, the way that I view, finance, the way that I view education, the way that I view my legacy, the way that I view time, the way that I view money, the way that I view life in general, has completely taken a turn in the right direction, these past couple of years. And I'm so grateful and I'm so happy that I have access to this information and I'm currently utilizing it, in my daily life. And I'm able to sit here and offer it to you all. Because just a couple of years ago, before this opportunity, I had no idea where my life was going. I was on a path to the next day. I was enjoying, whatever it was that satisfied me that day. And, like I said, the growth and elevation has taken me from, living my life day to day to living it in abundance and looking forward to the goals and the aspirations and the dreams that I have, the things that I lay down and dream about, positioning myself to be able to access those things in real life. You know, like most of us, I took the traditional route when it comes to education and finance. You know, I was told, I was given a blueprint. I was told to, you know, go to school, get a good job, work really hard for 30 to 40 years, and maybe you can enjoy retirement, right? So that's what I did. I had no say in that. That's the blueprint that I was given. That's what a majority of us are given, right? By society, by the people around us, by our parents, by our friends, because that's what everybody is doing, guys, right? But I came across a young lady, you know, in 2020 that put me in front of some information that completely changed the trajectory of my life. All right. In 2020, anybody know what happened in 2020? Drop what happened in 2020. Anybody know? 2020 was a heck of a year, right? Quarantine, pandemic, COVID, globally, guys. And, you know, as I was following that blueprint, I was going to school for mechanical engineering, and I was working a full-time job at MasterCard Incorporated. And I decided on that education, that level of education through mechanical engineering, simply because if I was going to give my life 30 to 40 years of my life to something, I wanted it to make sense. I wanted it to make me a good amount of money. I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to have a higher living status. You know, I wanted to be looked at as a successful, strong man. So I went into mechanical engineering while I was working, you know, full time at MasterCard, just simply blowing all the money that I had, you know, on women, on partying, on drinking, on kicking it, doing just about any and everything except for what was elevating me, right? Until I came across a young lady that introduced me to an asset that gave me access to mentorship, in 9 different streams of digital entrepreneurship. And here we are 2 years later, I'm a completely different person, not in a bad way, but I've grown, I've developed, I've become a new version of me, a better version of me. And I look forward to, in 2023, developing and becoming an even better version through what we have access to and life in general, guys. So I'm super excited. I want to make sure that you all are given an opportunity, right, to make a decision and not just be funneled into a life of education, a life of finance that everybody else has access to, that everybody else is pushing us to, that everybody else wants to funnel us through, right? So this digital entrepreneurship webinar talking about, you know, how we can develop streams of income from our smart devices is something that I'm extremely excited about, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Let me go ahead and share my screen, guys. You all forgive me if my MacBook is moving just a little bit slow. I'm on a different internet up here, but it's all good. We're going to make it work, guys. So boom, there we go. Bow. Yeah, we in there now. All right, drop some twos in the chat if you can see my screen. Drop some twos in the chat if you can see my screen. Let me pull up the chat so I can see what's going on, everybody. Cool, perfect. Now, one of the questions that I was asked, you know, when I was introduced to digital entrepreneurship is something that I want to ask you as well. And it's, what will you become? And at first, I didn't understand that. I am who I am. I'm doing what I'm doing. I didn't understand the concept of what will I become. But here, 2 years later, seeing what I've become, seeing the development, I now understand that in order to achieve the things that I desire in my life, in order for the things in my life to change, I have to change things in my life. And in order to do that, I have to change my habits. I have to change what I listen to. I have to change where I'm going and what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So I want to ask you, whatever it is that you desire to do in 2023, what and who will you become to make those things a reality? Now, when I was asked what would I become, like I told you, I didn't know. And I was introduced to the 4-way cash flow, right? Developed by a man named Robert Kiyosaki, right? He wrote the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, serial entrepreneur. And what he did was he created this 4-way cash flow that allowed individuals to understand the way that money works, who has access to it, how they have access to it, where it's coming from, and where it's going. And the alarming thing that caught my attention was that 95% of the entire world's wealth is accessed only by 5% of people. 5% of people have access to 95% of the money that's circulating around the world. Well, what does that mean for the other individuals? That means that 95% of people only have access to 5% of the wealth. They only have access to 5% of the elevated mindset. They only have access to 5% of opportunities, simply because of the opportunities that they were presented with, right? 95% of the people are taught to make money in a specific way. And that is to utilize our time as a commodity and trade it for finance. I take an hour of my time, I'm willing to be compensated for that hour. That's 60% of people, right? You're an employee. And this is where I started off, in MasterCard, as an employee working for somebody else, right? Trading my time for money. And I decided that, man, I kind of want to work for myself. I don't mind doing the work, but being on my own time, being on my own schedule, being my own boss, I think I like that. So I transitioned to the 35% as a musician, right? But I quickly realized that being a part of that 35% of somebody that works for themselves is I'm still trading my time for money. Imagine that you're a barber, right? If you're looking to accumulate some type of income, you have to be at the barbershop physically cutting somebody's hair in order to profit, right? You're trading your time for money. Yes, you have, you don't have a boss, you make your own hours, you have your own clientele. However, you're still trading your most precious commodity for a check. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, especially if it is, you're doing something that you love. But what I realized was that I was funneled into a system that I didn't really love, which is why I spent so much time drinking. I spent so much time turning up. I spent so much time looking for the next party because I wasn't happy with where I was. So seeing this, I realized that I was on the left side of the money. I was on the wrong side of the money, and I needed to get on the right side. The right side is the 5% that have access to 95% of the world's wealth. 4% of those 5% are business owners. See, they understand they don't necessarily have to trade their time for money. They can position a system that's going to work for them in their absence so that the money never stops. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, right? Jeff Bezos, the owner of Whole Foods and Amazon, he has plants all around the world. Does he have to be at each individual plant for them to develop a stream of income for him? Absolutely not, because he's developed a system that's working for him. System standing for save yourself time, energy, and money. And then the 1% that have the investor mindset, guys. And I love how Robert Kiyosaki put the mindset in there, because in order for us to elevate it, in order for us to grow in finance, or as a person, as a man, as a woman, as a brother, as a sister, as a son, as a daughter, auntie, uncle, whatever, as a person, we have to develop our mindset. And that's one of the first things that I did. Well, these individuals are the 1% because they understand that money should no longer be used as a reward for the time they were willing to spend for it, but instead looked at as a tool to go out and make them even more money. And I heard that and I said, wow, I can develop a system to make me money, or I can use the money that I currently have to make me even more money and then still have my time to travel, spend time with my family, do things that I love and enjoy. I realized that I had not been taught how to transition from the left side to the right side. Now, I knew what I needed to do. I knew I needed to go from left to right. I knew I needed to have access to 95% of the world's wealth, but I just didn't know how. But like I said earlier, I was introduced to an asset that gave me everything that I needed to succeed. And that's the I Am Mastery, who have done $1 billion in revenue. And I looked at that today and I said, man, it's cool that I Am Mastery has done $1 billion in revenue, but what does that mean for me? And I took a step back and I realized, like, wow, they've done $1 billion in revenue because of their service to other people, because of what they've been able to do for millions of people across the world in 20 plus countries, which is why it's now the largest digital entrepreneurship educational platform in the world. And I'm so happy and excited that I have access to it and that you all are going to learn how to gain access to it as well. All right. Now, within I Am Mastery, you're going to have access to something called IAM.Center. This is your educational hub. All right. This is where you're going to have access to products, tools, resources, and even mentorship. And it's going to allow your learning process to be made simplified. See, the educational system that I have been a part of, the one that a vast majority of people are funneled through, is a little bit different than this education, because this education is going to allow us to develop a stream of income as we learn, or multiple streams of income, depending upon what it is that you desire to do. We're going to talk about that in just a second, right? But the learning is made simplified through a system. Again, saving yourself time, energy, and money. All right. And the system can be applied to up to 8 streams of digital entrepreneurship. Drop it in the chat. Anybody know how many streams of income it takes to develop 7 figures? I don't know about you. Maybe you don't want to develop 7 figures. But let me put you on a secret. I want to develop 7 figures. Shout out 7 to 12. How many do we see on the screen? Right? How many streams of income do we see currently on our screen? I know you all don't know what it means just yet. I promise you I'm gonna break it down for you. There are 8 different streams, right? And they're broken down into 2 different sectors. Now, I'm here to kind of give you a little bit of insight on how this works and how you can benefit and to see if this is a fit for your lifestyle. All right. Now let's talk about financial markets. And I know we talk about financial markets, we talk about trading, we talk about investing, and people get scared. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It's simply because of your ignorance. Now, don't jump on me. I don't mean ignorant as a derogatory term. I just simply mean the fact that you're not in the know. And that's okay, because I wasn't in the know. I didn't know anything about any of this. But here we are 2 years later, and I'm able to adequately express it to you. So what do you think you can do? If Mark can do it, I guarantee you anybody can do it. All right, but let's talk about these financial markets. So the first one that we have access to is foreign exchange, right? Currency exchange. Some of you all may have heard of this, but if you have not, I actually believe that most of you all have not, simply because your bank does not want you to know. See, what we're able to do is we're able to trade, and exchange global currencies. Every country has their own currency. The Canadian dollar, US dollar, Mexican peso, Japanese yen, Greater British pound, the euro, so on and so forth. But what a majority of us don't understand is that the value of those currencies is fluctuating all throughout the day based upon a number of economic conditions. And these are conditions that you're able to analyze and track so that you can benefit off that fluctuation. And one of the things that I need you all to understand is the fact that you're already participating. Drop a 3 in the chat if you have a bank account. If you're dropping a 3 right now, you're actively participating in this market. Your money is actively working for somebody else right now as we speak. See, when you went into that banking institution, you actually gave them permission. When you signed that dotted line, to utilize the funds that are in your checking and your savings account as their investment account. They're actually putting your money that you spent your time accumulating to work for them, and you're not seeing any of the profit. Well, when I was introduced to this digital entrepreneurship opportunity, I said, my money's working for somebody already. Yo, I need my money to be working for me. If it's gonna be working already, I might as well get in there and allow myself to profit. And that's what we have with the Foreign Exchange Academy. Along with that, you also have access to digital currencies, right? Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, Shiba, Litecoin, and thousands of others, guys. I know that we're looking at the market right now. We're saying that, man, digital currencies are down. Bitcoin went from 64K down to 20K. I have no business dealing with crypto. And I'm here to tell you that you do. See, those of us that have gotten a little bit of education within this academy understand the cycles of the market. And we understand that digital currency is not, falling apart. It's actually on sale. If you went into Louis, right, you went to Louis, use this duffel bag that you've been wanting. It's worth $2,500. You haven't bought it because, you don't have the $2,500 to spend on the bag. But what if you went in there today and the bag was, I don't know, $300? Would you frown upon the bag, or would you jump at the opportunity to have access to it? I don't know about you, but I would have jumped at the opportunity. This is the opportunity for you to jump into digital currency or cryptocurrency so that you're able to benefit off of the sale that's been happening for the past year. Not only are you going to learn about cryptocurrency, but you're going to learn about blockchain technology. You're going to learn about Web3. You're going to learn about NFTs. And you're also going to learn how not only to create a crypto portfolio, but how you're going to be able to trade and exchange cryptos for profit. Next to that, we have one of my favorite academies, the TBX Academy, which stands for time-based exchange, right? And what I love about time-based exchange is the fact that you get to decide how much money you would like to make and in what amount of time you would like to make it. You get to decide those parameters, not your employer, not your boss, you. You get to decide the amount of money that you would like to make and how much time you would like to make. Let's just check the chat really quick. Somebody do me a favor and drop the most amount of money they've been able to make and in what amount of time they were able to make it, trading TPX. Let's test something out real quick. Let's see what comes through. Sheesh, $500 in 2 minutes. If you asked your employer, if you told your employer, hey, I got to pay my car note tomorrow. I only have 2 minutes. I only have 3 minutes. I only have 5 minutes today. But I need that $500. They probably will laugh at you, right? We got $1,200 in 15 minutes, $100 in 3 minutes, $2,475 in 2 minutes. Guys, I need you all to understand what's happening here. It's 2023. We live in a digital 8K in 2 minutes. I need you all to understand what's happening here, guys. We live in a digital world. If we're not utilizing our smart devices to develop digital streams of income, we're a little bit behind. Successful people position themselves ahead of the curve before it becomes obvious to the masses. And this is your opportunity. Opportunities that you pass up end up being obstacles. Remember that. All right. Now, the last academy that we have access to within the trading environment is the Stocks and Futures Academy. All right. For those of y'all that are not familiar with stocks, that simply means that we're able to invest into different companies like Google, Twitter, Tesla, Apple, right? And when we invest into those companies, we actually own a small portion of those companies. Most people don't know that you get invited to board meetings and you have access to making decisions about that company, because now you are actually a part owner of it. And as the value of that company, as the value of Apple grows, guess what? The piece that you own also grows. So if Apple's doing well, guess what? You're doing well. If Tesla's doing well, guess what? You're doing well. All right. But don't take my word for it. I believe that this academy, I Am Mastery, is the best place for you to learn this skill set and to be able to benefit. But don't take my word for it. Take the word of a man by the name of Jim Cramer. I don't know if any of you all on this call watch CNBC, but there's a segment called Mad Money, where Jim Cramer mentors millions of people on how to trade and invest in various different financial markets. Let's see what he has to say.
Tonight we're going off the charts with the help of Carolyn Broad. She's a brilliant technician who's teaching at IM.Academy FX, the Stocks and Futures Academy.
Wow. So the guys, I need you all to understand how huge this is. This is a man, like I said, that mentors millions of people around the world on one of the largest news networks to have ever existed. And he's saying, look, I'm offering you a level of education. I'm offering you insight. I'm offering you information and knowledge. But if you truly want to learn and develop this skill, I Am Mastery has it for you. And even beyond that, one of my colleagues, Carolyn Borden, is the lead SFX educator. Guys, this is where you want to be. Okay, this is how you want to develop income in 2023 and beyond. I promise you it's going to happen with or without you. Your money's already working with or without you, whether you're the one on the benefiting end or not. All right. Now, what I love about all four of these financial markets is that we actually have access to a single tool that's going to help us benefit in all four sectors. All right. Now, I need you all to understand this and listen closely. You don't have to know everything. If we knew everything, if we needed to know everything to get started in any opportunity, we would never get started because we already knew everything. But if you're willing to be a little coachable or teachable, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to put a little bit of time and effort into a skill set that's going to pay you for life and generations beyond, this is where you want to be. But shout out to Dr. Raphael Speller, who understands that the average person, like I was, didn't know this information. They didn't know this opportunity existed. They didn't know that they can enter these financial markets. They didn't know that their money is working for somebody else, which means that we really don't know how it works. So he developed a software that made it simplistic for us to get into this market and understand what's happening. A fun fact is that the colors red, yellow, and green are the most widely seen colors on a daily basis. So he said, look, I'm going to take something that people see every single day and I'm going to apply it to this market. I'm going to apply it to this skill set. Red simply means that we're looking to sell, guys. Green means that we're simply looking to buy. Can anybody identify red and green? Drop red and green in the chat. If you're able to identify the color red, you're able to identify the color green. You don't have to know everything right now. You just simply need to understand the color coordination. You can learn about why the colors are coordinating as we go along with our education. All right, that makes sense. Shout out the color users on the squad, dropping the colors emojis. I love to see it, guys. I love to see it. Now, I want you all to understand that we also have access to a secret weapon. Even beyond $1 million product and tool that's simplistic as a game and matching colors, you actually have something beyond that. It's called Go Live. This is our secret weapon. See, when I was in school for mechanical engineering, I had to take my test on my own. The professor gave me, some information. They taught me some things, but when it came time to take the test or take the exam, I was by myself. But what if your professor sat down with you and took the test right along with you? They said, hey, in a math class, move that 2 over here, divide that over here, multiply that over there. What would you do? How much easier or how much simpler would that class be? I told you, it's learning made simplified. So you're going to have access to a Go Live session where they're going to be sharing their screen just like this. They're going to be walking us through trade opportunities and their analysis and how we can begin to identify those trade opportunities by ourselves. But in the beginning, we can piggyback off the people that have the experience, that have the knowledge, that have the results in their lives. When they make money on these sessions, we're able to make money on these sessions. It's a beautiful thing, guys. It's a beautiful system. I don't know any other system that has been able to assist millions of people within these financial markets in the way that I Am Mastery Academy has. All right. Now, even beyond that, we're going a little bit further. You actually have access to a number of apps. Maybe you don't have a whole lot of time. Maybe, you work 17-hour shifts, right? Maybe you have children that have various different things going on throughout the day. Maybe you're in school and work and you have whatever else going on. Well, you have access to a number of apps. When those educators are on Go Live, they're actually sending us the parameters to those trades. So you can take the parameters, place them into your trading platform, go about your business, continue your class, right? Continue your work schedule, continue whatever event that you're participating in. And I love how I Am Mastery Academy has positioned all of us to be able to benefit financially in the world's largest financial markets, right? But that wasn't enough. It's crazy because they actually added more. They said, look, trading is not enough. We live in a digital world. Let's take it to another level. And they added other academies to this educational platform. The first one is the e-commerce, ECX Academy, dealing with drop shipping and e-commerce and drop shipping, excuse me, guys. Simply you being the middleman, right? Somebody else has a product, somebody else has a vendor, somebody else has the shipping and handling, somebody else stores it, but simply because you're the middleman and this is your online store, you're profiting. Imagine becoming your own Amazon. That's exactly what Tia Bowden, shout out our chairwoman, Tia Bowden, did for herself. She became her own Amazon. And she was able to sell over 100 ebooks in 72 hours. Shout out to her. And what I love about Tia is that she not only did this for herself, but she's positioned hundreds of other people to be able to do this as well. To develop another stream of income from her smart device, a passive one at that. All right. Now, along with that, it's not enough just to make money, guys. We want to create experiences. We want to develop new memories. We want to see new places. We want to experience new things and new people, right? So the Academy said, look, in 2020, we weren't able to travel. Nobody was hopping on planes. Nobody was getting on cruises. Nobody was traveling the world. And now we know since the world is open, now it's crazy to say that the world is open. Who would have thought the world would be closed? I thought the world was open 24 hours. But it was closed for almost 2 years. So now we have the opportunity to travel all across the world through I Am Mastery. You're going to have access to your own destination portal that's going to give you access to over 800,000 high luxury resorts, hotels, right? Excursions, yachts, private jets, mansions at up to 60% off. If you thought Priceline was doing it, I guarantee you they're not in comparison to I Am Mastery. If you thought, any of these other third-party travel agencies were doing it, I guarantee you they're not seeing I Am Mastery Academy. Because not only have they developed a relationship with these places around the world, but they've also spent a lot of money with them. They may go somewhere like Dubai and block out 6 floors of the hotel. And guess what that gives them access to? A massive discount. And guess who gets the benefit off the discount? We do. Shout out to Tia Bowden for just getting back from Dubai with the TLX Academy for her birthday just recently. Tia, if you don't mind, drop your Instagram in the chat so that people can see what an amazing time that you had in Dubai utilizing this travel academy. 800,000 different places around the world, guys. Wow. Draw your attention to the chat. Tia just dropped her Instagram in there, guys. Go check out her trip to Dubai utilizing this academy. All right. Now, even beyond that, we also have access to the SMX Academy, which is social media monetization. If you're scrolling TikTok, if you're scrolling Instagram, if you're scrolling Facebook, if you're posting on any social media platform in 2023, you should be developing a stream of income from it. And I Am Mastery is going to show you and walk you through the process of monetizing your social media. When you make a post, right? When you share a reel, you should be getting some type of some type of financial gain from that process. That's the world that we live in. I Am Mastery has that for you. And even beyond that, the one thing that I was lacking, if not anything else, was my mindset. And I Am Mastery has taken care of that as well. I told you all that my level of thinking, my level of understanding, who I listen to, the routines that I go through every day, the habits that I've developed, all started with my mindset. That's the foundation. In order for us to grow in life, the first thing that needs to grow when it comes to education, when it comes to finance, when it comes to success, is your mindset. So I Am Mastery said, look, we understand people need to be developed. People need to learn. People need to be positioned. So we're going to come up with a Mindset Mastery Academy where we have some of the most prestigious individuals around the world that have helped millions of other people develop their mindset to create the lifestyle that they so desire. Imagine developing your mindset and then getting into one of these digital streams of income and applying that mindset to the financial markets, applying that mindset to your e-commerce or dropshipping business, applying that knowledge to social media monetization. That's what you have access to, guys. All right. Now, I don't know about you all, but when I heard this information, I was asking myself, man, what do I need to do to gain access to it? How do I move forward with this information? How do I gain access to mentorship in 9 streams of digital entrepreneurship? How do I position my 2023 to be the best year of my life? How do I elevate and how do I grow? Well, this next young man, you know, who was about to explain to you exactly how you can get started, not only how you can get started, but how you can gain access to this information and these products, tools, resources for free, right? He's going to explain all that information to you. And I want you to understand that if you didn't find any value in anything that I said, you need to grab a pencil and a paper, because this is a young man at just, I believe, 23, 24 years old that just a few weeks ago gave himself a $24,000 annual raise. If I would have went and asked my boss, hey, boss, I know I'm doing the same thing I was doing yesterday, but I would like actually 24K this year. Can you make that happen? They probably would have laughed at me. I might have been fired. But this young man has positioned himself to elevate his own income. And not only that, but he's showing so many other people how to do the exact same thing. So RJ, bro, I appreciate you. I took a little bit of extra time, man, because I'm just excited about, you know, what 2023 has to offer us and what we're doing, man. I know you're going to show them exactly how to get started, what information that they need, and how they can move forward, bro. So I'm going to go ahead and make you host, man. You got the call, my guy.
Fantastic, fantastic. If you all can hear and see me perfectly clear, go ahead and drop some 8s in the chat, designating your new beginning with this new information that you have access to now. Go ahead and drop some 8s in the chat. I need energy. I want to see the energy. I want to thank all 17,000 of you all that are still on this call. You chose to be doing you chose to actually gain access to information that could possibly change your life. It's Wednesday, January 4th of 2023. It's the 4th day, the first week of the first month of the new year. And I'm super excited and humbled to actually just be able to spend time with you all tonight. All right, let's see. I see the 8s in the chat. You all can see and hear me perfectly clear. I'm going to go ahead and pin and spotlight so y'all can see me crystal clear. Beautiful. All right. So I just want to introduce myself first. My name is RJ Hewitt. I'm 23 years old, and I'm a Platinum 2000 leader within the I Am Mastery Academy, meaning that I actually coach 75 plus individuals on a daily basis on their financial journeys in terms of trading, investing, e-commerce, stocks, whatever the case may be. I help them to get access to resources that they need to become the most successful individuals that they can be. All right. So first, before I even show you this PowerPoint, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. All right. So like I said, I'm 23 years old, excuse me. I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. I'm actually here in St. Louis right now. giving myself a vacation just because of the hard hours that I put in retail. All right, hold on, give me a second here. I want to make sure that we didn't get no feedback. Y'all can hear me. All right. So okay, we back? We good? Everybody can hear me? Drop some 8s if you can hear me. Drop some more 8s if you can hear me. All right, beautiful. All right. So, like I said, I'm 23 years old. I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. And to be honest with you, before I learned about IM, I knew a little bit about investing, right? Drop some 5s in the chat if we've heard of Robinhood before. Drop some 5s in the chat if we've heard of Robinhood. Right, we've heard of Robinhood before, right? So I learned about Robinhood at the age of 16, but in the US, you cannot invest in anything until you're 18 years old, right? So when I became 18, I was a senior in high school. I made my first Robinhood account. I started investing the little $50, $100 that I had at the time in stocks, all right? I then went to college. I attended the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, where I actually ended up getting my bachelor's in political science and educational policy just this past August, right? Now I finished that degree, but my freshman year, I actually got a chance to meet an individual by the name of Tia Bolden. At this point in time in my life, I had joined the United States Army as a reservist. I was working retail part-time. I was actually working 2 jobs, working at Staples and at Starbucks, both part-time while I was doing full-time education, right? So let's understand that if we're doing college full-time, we're taking about, I don't know, 16 hours, 15 credit hours at a time. And I was also working about 12 to 15 hours a week, right, between the 2 jobs. So I realized that I needed more time not only to devote to my studies, but to devote to the things that I enjoyed doing most, right? So what I decided to do is when Ms. Bolden contacted me and, I got on a webinar just like this, and I said, yes, I made a decision that has now changed the trajectory of my life and improved my quality of living tenfold, right? I actually now, like I said, I've been working retail for 8 years. So everybody says that I'm going to leave this person, I'm going to leave that person in 2022. I'm going to leave this habit in 2022. I decided to leave my job in 2022. So on December 31st, actually it was really December the 16th of 2022, I put in my 2 weeks notice at GameStop after I had been working at the company for a year, right? I dedicated my life to making sure that I'm putting people in position to have the greatest success possible in whatever aspect of life that it is that they choose to pursue, whether it be e-commerce, whether it be stocks, whether it be social media, traveling, whatever the case is, right? So with that being said, I want to go ahead and show you all what it is you have access to. Like Mr. Sanders has already done so eloquently, so adequately for us, I want to share this screen with you all and show you all how you can get access to the same information, all right? Drop some 7s in the chat if that's cool with you. If that's cool with you, we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, thank you to all 17,000 of you all that are still on the call with us. All right, and once y'all are able to see my screen, I want you all to go ahead and drop some 7s in the chat, okay? Great, I see the 7s coming up, beautiful. All right, so like Mr. Sanders covered, we have access to 8 streams of income. He's already told you all that you only need access to 7 in order to become a millionaire, a 7-figure earner. I like to think of it as you need 1 stream per digit there is in the number 1 million. Does that make sense? Drop some 7s if that makes sense. Drop some 7s if that makes sense, right? Beautiful. All right, so we've gone through our 4 trading academies. We've gone through our 4 experience academies. Now I'm going to tell you how much it costs to actually get access to this education. Drop some 5s in the chat if you understand that when you go to school, you have to pay tuition. If you have your camera on, you can raise your hand. I'm looking at that as well, right? But drop some 5s if we understand that we have to pay what's called a tuition. A tuition allows you to have access to the full range and scope of education that your institution has to offer. So I want to show you, once my keyboard decides it wants to work. There we go. All right. We have what's called the I Empowered Academy, right? The I Empowered Academy allows you to choose 2 of our classes, right? I like to call these classes. So you can choose FRX and SFX. You can choose SMX and ECX. You can choose FRX and ECX, TBX and TLX. Any 2 that you see on this screen right here, any 2 of the 8 that Mr. Sanders already discussed and already explained, you can pick any 2. You will get Colors as well, which is our leading software within the Academy, plus our Millionaire Mindset Academy. You get the Millionaire Mindset Academy for free for life, as long as you're an IM, by the way. For $324.95 upfront, right? That's your enrollment fee, plus your first month's tuition. You get access to 2 academies, plus Colors, which really is a hack, because if you have Colors, you can trade FRX, TBX, DCX, and SFX without having all 4 academies. So that's a hack. I just wanted to put y'all onto that. But you actually get a discounted tuition rate per month as long as you're staying with the academy, as long as you are continuing your education. So instead of paying $325 for your tuition every month, the academy was so gracious as to give us a discount so that every month we only pay $299. Now, I wish that had I gotten a discount for my 5 years of education at the College of William and Mary, I may not have paid $250,000 for my bachelor's degree. I wish. I'm just saying. But just like we have to pay tuition, we actually get a discount for our tuition. Now, somebody say free in the chat. Somebody say free in the chat. I'm going to go to that later, but I'm going to say, somebody say free in the chat. Okay. All right. So I want you to keep that in the back of your head, because I've come to understand in my years of retail that as soon as you say the word free, people's attention kind of renews. People's eyes open, people's ears perk up. Their skin starts crawling. They're like, what's free? What's free? What's free? I want you to keep that energy and keep that in the back of your head as I go to explain how you can actually get access to each one of these individual academies as well, right? So you have your FRX, your DCX, your TBX, your SFX. Each of these 4 trading academies you actually get access to for $299 a month. Now, some of you may be asking, well, if it's only an extra $40 to get 2 academies plus colors where you can trade all 4 of these at the same time, wouldn't it just be a better value to get I Empowered? Well, then you're probably an individual that's like me and sees the greater value in the I Empower package. Okay. Now, same as the I Empower package, you see that you actually get a discount for continuing your education with the academy month by month, right? So instead of paying that $300 up front and then paying that every month, you're only paying that $235 every single month. Drop some 8s if that makes sense. All right. Seeing the 8s, seeing the freeze. Beautiful. All right. So like I said, we have what's called a scholarship program, right? We said the word free, our skin started crawling, the hair started standing up on our skin. So I want to actually show you all how to create a study group within I Am Mastery Academy and get your tuition for free. But first I want to ask you a question. How many of us pay bills? How many of us pay a phone bill, rent, light bills, utilities, water? Drop something in the chat. Drop what your least favorite bill is in the chat. Matter of fact, let's do that. What is your least favorite bill? Name it and drop it in the chat. I know you don't like paying your cell phone bill. I know you really, really hate when that water bill comes through because you like taking 30-minute showers. I know how it goes. I truly understand. But I'm going to actually show you how to get access to 8 streams of income for absolutely free. All you have to do is actually refer to people. It could be your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousin, and them, your auntie, your uncle, your aunt's friend who's, that your family calls them your uncle, but they're really not blood related to you. So you can actually put them on a webinar that's just like this with somebody that's like me or Mr. Sanders or Ms. Bolden that's presenting the information to them. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a study group. All of you are going to be studying the same information with the same educators in the same system. And once that study group has been solidified and created, you actually get your tuition for absolutely free. Now, somebody drop free in the chat if that makes sense to you. Somebody drop free in the chat if that makes sense to you. Now, I want you to understand that the liability is not on you to teach anybody anything, right? Let me put it this way. If you got a scholarship in college, did you have to teach somebody anything? Somebody drop it in the chat, because me personally, I got a little bit of a scholarship. I got, a grant, but that didn't require me to teach anybody anything. And that is the same concept that I want you to apply to this. All right. So I want to ask the question again, and my time here is up. I want to thank you all again for coming, but I want to ask you, what are you going to become? You sat on a webinar with us for 20 minutes, for 30 minutes to gain some information that could possibly change your life. I've come to the understanding over the course of this past year that when information like this comes across your path, you don't say no to it. But there are 4 types of people that are going to be on this call. There's going to be people that are like, well, RJ, this is great information. Mark, this is great information, but it's not quite for me right now. I spent $300 on Jordans yesterday. I spent, $400 at the club last week. I spent, $1,800 on my rent. And, I understand that there are things that we have to do. But, I don't see the value in this so that, $300. I think Jordans are worth more than this information. And that's perfectly fine. Everybody's in a different phase in life. And sometimes that just is what the case is. There's going to be some of us that's like, I know that I personally can use this information. I have an idea in my head that I want to use FRX to fund this and do that and that's perfectly fine too. What I want you to do is I want you to reach back out to the individual that got you on this call. And I want you to say, I'm person number two. Okay. There's a third type of individual that's on the call that's going to be like, yo, I know my cousin and my brother, I know for a fact that they can benefit from this information. I want to tell them about this, but I'm going to get plugged in first. So I make sure that they're on the right track as well. I want you to reach back out to the individual that got you on this call. And I want you to say, RJ said number 3, I'm number 3. But there's going to be a fourth type of individual. And those are the individuals that I'm most excited about. They're going to be like me. They're going to be like Mark. It's like, I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I want ECX and I want FRX. That's actually what I have personally. Yeah, I want ECX. I want FRX. I want to learn colors. I want to learn how to match colors and make money from my phone in my sleep. I want to build an e-commerce store doing X, Y, and Z. I'm so excited for the vision that you all have, and I want to be a part of it. And those people, I want you to reach back out to the person that got you on this call. And I want you to tell them, I'm person number 4. Send me the link. I'll do whatever it takes. But regardless of what person you are right now, I want you to remember this, that I'll see you around the corner at the top, because the bottom is far too crowded for us all. And I'll never look down on anybody unless I'm willing to help them up. But most importantly, if you get nothing else from what we talked about on this call, remember this: believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't. Y'all have a blessed evening.